Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's that time of year again. We're starting 2026 off right with new releases from Zero Tolerance and Kershaw, which means we get to have a visit from our friend Andrew.
Hey guys.
Andrew Keel, one of the designers at that company, those companies, is going to take us through the new releases right after this. Andrew, welcome, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Always good to see you, because we have a lot of fun, not just behind the table here talking about the cool new knives, which are cool, but we get to talk about knives the whole time he's here, which is fun.
It's true.
But let's talk about your guys' new knives, starting with the two new ZTs, one all new design, the 117. Tell me about this. Super
stoked for this. This is just like ultra light. I say a lot of times for Kershaw and for ZT, we like to bring something for everyone. And what's really nice about this guy is it's super thin, super narrow, very long, straight, very like minimalistic, which I really like. The button on this too is just fantastic. I love how comfortable the button on that DuraLock is right there. Super nice. You've got 3.3 inches Magna Cut steel, that nice ZT satin finish on there.
Yeah.
Carbon fiber handles keep it really lightweight. Just a really good, like kind of like that urban EDC kind of vibe.
It's definitely going for that. You know, we won't mention the obvious competitor to this knife, but I think you guys have really nailed what was going on here with this. I mean, we're at 1.8 ounces, which is an auspicious measurement there. Super light, the carbon fiber for the handles, really slicey blade, great action on that crossbar lock too, man. That is just really, really nice, fresh out of the box. Well, I say that, these are samples that arrived before, but it is really, really nice. Yeah, you guys nailed it with this for sure. For any of you folks watching this, we are handling samples here, but by the time this video is going live, you should be able to order any of this stuff at the links in the description below. Head down there. I'll try to give you approximate prices because, as I mentioned, we're filming this ahead of time. But this should sit around the $240 mark, thereabouts. All prices that I give you today might be off by just a little bit. They're estimates.
Yeah.
But there you go. You can check out the full price and the full specs at the links in the description for all of these products.
One more thing I like about this guy before we
jump
on the 117, I really actually like the clip on this. It's pretty slim and pretty narrow, which I think fits like the overall like kind of clean, elegant vibe. A lot of times narrow clips though can be kind of tight and hard to use, but this one is not. It actually is really comfortable.
It's a good spring to it.
And yeah, exactly. Good spring to it.
And super deep carry too, the way it wraps around the back of the handle too. And it is reversable, yes. Good.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Fully ambidextrous design. Very, very good.
Yeah.
So what I like about this, well, obviously like Zero Tolerance has traditionally been known for like the big overbuilt stuff. I mean, you guys made your name.
Big, beefy,
for sure.
Built like a tank. Yeah.
But the last couple of years, you guys have been kind of pushing things in the opposite direction as well, like as slim as but still high quality as possible with like the 545, great design, and the 556 auto, which you have a new version of here. Maybe the thinnest production auto on the market right now. It's pretty dang thin. I really enjoy the design of this, though. Tell us about
very slim.
The new version.
Yeah. Well, 556 came out with technically a couple years ago. Very lightweight, very slim. It might be. I don't, can't claim it because someone outside or somewhere may have done it, but for sure one of the slimmest automatic knives on the market.
I've always thought of it as a very like gentlemanly, refined automatic.
And it's a beautiful design, like great silhouette, just very like pulled back. You have that inlay in there, which again keeps it very just like a minimal, clean aesthetic. Really nice, thin, slicey Magna Cut blade on this. So this is that knife, award-winning, won the Blade Show Award last year, which is very cool for Automatic Knife of the Year. And then we got it here just in black. You've got black PVD on the blade, on the titanium. So you got the top-notch knife with top-notch finishes, which is really nice. And I think for automatic knives too, a lot of times it makes sense to see them kind of murdered out in black, and so that definitely is very fitting on this.
It changes the vibe a little bit, but it still has that kind of classy elegance to it.
Oh, definitely. And we've got just carbon fiber on the
more of like a secret spy sort of elegance,
a little more
rather
stealthy.
than like a,
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, very good. But yeah, this is titanium, Magna Cut steel, carbon fiber inlays. And that button too is really fun. I think that's like very distinctive, and I really like how that adds to the look of the knife.
Well, it ties in really nicely with the automatics that Kershaw has been making. ZT is kind of like the more premium sister brand to like the bulk Kershaw brand. And so the action here, despite going as slim as you could with this, still has what the launch series is
Yeah.
known for, and that being very good action as well. Yeah, just a really cool knife. Price on this one a little bit higher than the non-blacked out version. These are going to be about $384. Again, U.S. made, automatic. Check it all out at the description link. There you go. I got it.
Good work.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, that's what's new for the ZT side of things. Obviously, we have a bigger bulk of Kershaw releases. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
A silhouette that may be familiar to some of you who've been following Kershaw for more than a few years, but a little bit different.
Yeah. This is the Bareknuckle, which is in my mind, is an iconic Kershaw design. Love that design. It comes from the whole like ZT 777, like that whole that pool. Design language, but it's very thin, elongated. And this, in my opinion, is one of the best versions of that design that we've made. I love it.
It's been
so
out
much.
of production for a few years
Yeah.
Since the sub-frame lock versions got discontinued. Yeah.
But I love the action on this. I love crossbar locks just in general. It's one of my favorite locking mechanisms. In this one in particular, I think really benefits from it. So we've got about a 3.5-inch blade, Magna Cut, black PVD on there. So really good blade. You've got a really good, nice, tall blade grind here, which gives you a really good edge geometry.
Good flat slicing geometry.
Low tip, I love that for these utility cuts. And then we've got aluminum both sides here. Which is just really nice. Even if you look at the back too, I really like the liners for this are inset inside of the aluminum, which just gives it a really clean aesthetic and also keeps it like very close visually to the original.
Like I don't have one here to hold up next to it, but I don't see anything that like really deviates significantly.
There's like a couple of tweaks here and there, a few things to to update it a little bit, but I love
it's still the Bareknuckle.
Yeah, it's still the Bareknuckle. It's really fun as like obviously I'm a Kershaw fan, but like
that's good.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, as a Kershaw fan, it's really fun to see a design from the past, like kind of come back updated, and evolve a little bit there. So that's really cool. We have another one of these like super deep carry pocket clips on there that feels really, really good. Just in general, I love the feel of this knife. I love the thumb studs on this knife too, a little bit bigger, but fits the knife overall. But yeah, I love the Bareknuckle, and I love that it's back. It's really exciting for me.
Well, and I think where Kershaw really especially shines is with knives, for instance, like the Bel Air.
Yeah.
It was released a couple years ago. And this is kind of going to hit similar marks in that you've got good materials exactly where it counts, American made, but high value as well. Street price on this should be about $160 to $165, somewhere in that range. So you get about a 1/2 inch more in blade length compared to the Bel Air, which starts around $150.
Yeah.
So value on this should be excellent indeed. The action is excellent. I mean, you guys do a very good job with that, of course. Even if you just want to use the thumb studs, those oversized studs on there flick out really nicely. You got that wraparound deep carry clip too. I mean, this, I would be shocked if this is not a winner, quite honestly. It feels really good, and the price is really good.
Yeah.
Really good on this knife. Yeah, check it out. Links in the description. Speaking of iteration, actually, this is kind of the other, I think, biggest news of the day.
Yeah, I am particularly excited about this one because I really like the Iridium design, obviously, but this is really fun because this is a USA-made manual Iridium. When we made the launch Iridium last year, so many people were like, hey, you guys, that's awesome, but we would love a manual.
You don't want the auto, you want the manual.
Yeah, or just like the auto is amazing. It was on your list, which is very exciting for us. But autos, you can't sell everywhere, you know? And different people, it's like a different flavor, you know? And some people really like automatic knives, and some people like automatic knives and manual knives. And some people really prefer manual knives. And so I think it's really special to get to see this in a manual version. So this is a manual button lock. It has really good detent on there. Open with the thumb studs. You've got full G10 handle scales there, and we've still got
nice
similar
shape to it as well.
Exactly. Just like on the automatic, you have a really good shape there. Anodized aluminum backspacer, which is just really fun. It's really fun. I've always really liked the Iridium design, and it's fun to see it kind of proliferate out into all these different iterations.
Started out as an imported crossbar lock model, actually. Then he came out with the Mini. Then he came out with the US made auto last year, and now, kind of full circle maybe. Why not? We'll say full circle.
Yeah.
But just kind of really fleshing out the lineup. And correct me if I'm wrong, you might have told us this last year. This is the first time a Kershaw design has started as an import and been so successful it became a U.S. model as well.
Which is pretty wild.
That is very cool.
But it's really fun. Similarly on this too, the liners are for the most part inset in there as well, which gives you that really full. I mean, it feels like you have like fully like 3D contoured G10 handle scales here, which is just, it's really comfortable in hand and gives you a really, really nice, good grip. You've got a little bit over 3 inches, I think it's like 3.45 inches of MagnaCut steel.
That's what the sheet says, so we'll go with that.
And that's, again, just like killer action with the button lock. Our factory really nailed that, and it feels just very comfortable.
It does. Especially on the ZT Flipper you guys did with the button lock, it's really impressive. But even on the thumb stud version here, the action is really, really well dialed in. And I love the utility of just a basic drop point blade in general. And the Iridium has that while also being a distinctive shape. It's not just a plain old drop point. It gives you that same kind of versatility, but with heaps of style, in my opinion, too, which is always a really cool thing as well. And price on this should be around 180 bucks as well. Really, really nicely done. All right, now we're gonna move to a couple of the import designs this year. We have another crossbar lock design. This is the Proximal. Tell me about this.
Yeah, super stoked about this. I think I mentioned to you a while ago, this design was actually originally going to be potentially like a ZT. I did like a bunch of sketches when I was like away at a summer camp several years ago. Same time I designed the Bel Air. And I've been sitting on this sketch for years. And finally we got to bring it to light with this.
Kind of repurposed it into this model.
And I love that. I love the crossbar lock on this, feels really good, and it feels like it fits the knife. My favorite thing is for sure these G10 handle scales. You've got all of G10 with a 3D contour on there. And it's nice. It's pretty narrow overall, pretty pocketable, even though it fills the hand.
It does fill the grip quite nicely. Yeah, I agree.
Super comfortable knife, and you've got these aluminum accents on there I really like. About just over 3-inch blade, D2 steel.
Yeah, we're doing about 3 1/8 or so. 1.15. Yeah.
And you've got nice high grind panel on there as well, so it just gives you really good cut-in geometry.
Yeah, the shape overall is really nice, but my favorite part is the geometry you're going to get out of this blade. I mean, you start with thin enough blade stock to begin with, then you give it a high, or a tall profile, and take the flat grind almost to the top. The geometry on that's going to be quite good for everyday slicing. I always love a stone-washed finish as well. So as you use the knife, it's going to keep looking good longer because your scratches kind of blend in, of course. Yeah, it feels really good. Good in the right or the left too, because everything's reversible. I like this clip. This is not the only. This is a new clip that we're seeing on a few things from you.
I did this clip on the Kindred, and I've started using it a little bit more on some of the import ones. I really like it because it's kind of that deep carry clip, but it fits in really seamlessly to the overall design. Yeah,
I mean, it nests into the back of the scale there. The single screw is enough to keep it stable because you're kind of like wedged into the pocket there, and it looks, I think, pretty darn good too.
And it's reversible, like easily reversible, which is fun.
Yeah, good lefty or righty, good EDC. This should sit right around, it's looking like the $90 point for this knife right here. All right, this one is the Airspace. Which, we talked about the lightweight nature of this ZT up front. This knife is even lighter. Tell me about this right here.
Well, this one, like the project brief, when I was handed this is what we want from this knife, the goal was as lightweight as we can make it. And so you have a really thin, slicey 14C blade.
Check out how thin and slicey that is. Like, you're not lying there. That is going to be almost scalpel-like.
And you've got a good grind on there too. So even though the blade stock is really thin, you also have very good edge geometry. We've got these glass-filled nylon handle scales on there as well, which just have, it's a very it's a very rigid polymer, the one that we chose for this specifically, that has a lot of glass fill in there. I took this, I was telling you earlier, I took this out to our parking lot when we got the tooling samples in, the molded samples, and I just threw it all over the parking lot, up in the air,
trying to get it to break.
At the dumpster, trying to get it, and it barely even dinged the plastic, which is crazy. I think a lot of times when people look at we were talking about this earlier too, like a lot of people I think kind of in their mind like devalue injection molded handle.
There's less of a perceived premium quality to it, of course, but you can get really cool shapes. I mean, this is not necessarily the best example of it because it is kind of just a flat side.
It's pretty simple.
But there's injection molding done right, there's nothing wrong with it.
And the performance is there, which was huge. And that was something I was really struck by.
The practical side of it.
My favorite thing about this knife is probably the backspacer. I think just as like a really unique feature that gives it a very lightweight look and feel.
Helps it stand out and removes weight.
100%. So that's really exciting for me. And it's got great action. Crossbar lock in there.
3-inch blade here.
Bearings. 3-inch blade. Just all around great EC piece.
1.6 ounces. And I'm really happy with like the rough price we're looking at for this one. I think this sits at a really nice cross section of price to performance. It should be about $55. like I said, give or take. But you got a great steel 3-inch blade, super slicey, super lightweight, yet feels really nice. Yeah, that's a winner, I think.
I'm really happy with that one. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Next up, another kind of lightweight EDC, maybe not quite as lightweight. What is this knife right here?
This is the Duster. What I love about this one is just like how simple, comfortable, and practical it is. You've got, I love a really nice low tip. This isn't quite a reverse Tonto. This is actually probably closer to your sheep's foot there, right? Modified sheep's foot.
We know you and our friend Thomas behind the camera have an endearment with the
reverse Tonto.
That blade shape that shall not be named.
This one's actually as a McNair design. This is not a design, but I really like what he did with this one. It's so comfortable in hand. It's really compact, but you're like maximizing the utility in it with the blade shape, with the handle shape, the contouring of those injection molded handle scales.
Smaller blade, about 2.9.
And it's 8CR. So this is more of a budget offering as well. But I'm really stoked that we've been doing that, bringing the crossbar lock into that more budget range. I think making that accessible to everyone, especially in something as practical as this, is really nice.
Yeah, this is going to sit probably around $39-40 or so. What I like about it, for such a small knife, it has like knuckle clearance in a way that you don't often see in knives this small.
Yeah.
So you could really take advantage of that low tip because of the way the handle arcs up, or the way it arcs here behind it. It allows you to get down there with that tip and have plenty of room for the knuckles. Quite nice. Pinch grips are really nice on it. Again, it feels nice and light. It's about 2 ounces, so not as ultralight as the Airspace. Whoops, flubbed the flip there. Hollow grind on this, and a decent price as well. Good texture on that injection molding there too, so it's
nice
not too slippy or anything like that. But it's not, grabby or checkered or anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty cool little budget knife. Excellent. All right, next up, you guys have done more with the Bel Air.
Yeah.
I mentioned how popular that was, and for good reason. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Are you good if I do like a little story time with this guy?
100%.
This is one of my favorite like origin stories for this specific version of the Bel Air. Every year, Kershaw does what we call our warehouse sale. So last weekend, we do, it's like our garage sale. So if we have, factory seconds, like knives that have a scratch. Like functionally, they're great, but there's like a scratch, so we can't sell it full price.
Sure.
So we'll sell them discounted. Tons of people come through. And I met a guy, we were looking at some different EMT knives that we have, kind of our import products that we have. And he was asking, do you guys have anything that's like USA made, that's more of like tailored towards EMTs and has these features? And I was like, we don't. But then I was like, oh, it would be really fun if we did. And literally like within a year, this is like one of the quickest like turnarounds that I've had. Our factory, I met with them and we like talked about it, talked with all of our people, and we designed this is a Bel Air XL, but an EMT version. Yeah. Super cool, super fun, all from like a conversation that I had with a person at a warehouse sale, which is really fun.
Well, and you guys just released the XL of this just a couple months ago too.
Yeah. Yep.
By the time this video is coming out. So that is, a quick turnaround even from the initial release of the model to have. I guess that works because you had it in the works before.
Yeah, exactly. We had it in the
out,
works, and it was really clear to me because of the EMT. This really fit the XL better than the original Bel Air.
100%.
I think this really works with that.
Yeah,
so
you got more grip for one thing, and just the reach you're going to need for something like that. Cool.
Exactly. You've got a 3.25-inch blade, MagnaCut steel. We've got this blunt tip on there, which I really like. If you're, in this use case scenario, you're going to be like cutting a seatbelt off somebody or something.
You don't want to be poking the skin and making the situation worse when you're trying to save somebody.
Right. And we've got the half serrated on here too, and I really like these serrations. We've done this on a couple things like the Launch 16. I think there's probably some versions of the Blur that have this really good serration pattern there. G10 handle scales, front and back, just like the original. And we have it in orange as well as black. Well, there's two different versions. You can see right there. Which is fun too. We usually don't release knives in two flavors at the same time. So that's pretty cool too. I'm pretty amped about that. And then you've got a aluminum backspacer here with the carbide tip in there. And these things are crazy. I don't know if you've ever tested one of these before, but like you could like drop it on a window, like just drop it, like barely tap it.
Right.
Shatters the window. It's very effective.
Fantastic. Price on these should be about $180, which I think that's round about the same price as the standard XL. I might be a little bit more. I think it's
maybe a little bit more.
But not that far off.
Yeah.
And it's got all the same great features you know and love from the Bel Air or the Bel Air XL if you have one of those already. Fully ambidextrous, so even if your EMT is not a left-hander, oftentimes they might be carrying their rescue tool on the offhand side. So being able to make this a completely ambidextrous thing definitely gives you more than your import rescue folders bring to the table for sure as well. Cool.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we've got some more of the printed series here.
Yeah, which is super fun. So we call it our CCI, but it's basically just like you've got like a graphic on the handle. I actually really like, this is one of my favorite applications we've done with this specific one for these two. We've got the Leek and the Blur, which are awesome. I mean, these are, you talk about iconic Kershaws, these are like the Kershaws.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time saying which is more iconic, the Leek or the Blur. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think.
But they're great. And what's nice too, these both have 14C steel on the blade. We've got aluminum handles, and we've got our CCI on there. On the Blur too, we have these clear, the little rubber insert there is clear, so you can see
there's
the
an actual
graphics.
clear rubber insert, yeah. We were debating that earlier before you got here. We're like, what is that? Because the samples arrived before.
Yeah. No, but super, so you don't lose any of that grip, but you still get that camo pad on there. So this is a King's Camo. We partnered with them and like licensed the graphics, so it's a specific camo pattern, but it just looks really beautiful on both of these with that kind of like woodland camo vibe.
So because I used to work in a print shop in a previous life, I was getting curious about this. These are actually like UV printed on here.
That's right.
And then to protect it, you do a clear Cerakote over the print, so it's going to last. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Price on these is going to be about 95 or so bucks for the standard Blur, which again, that's about the standard price. I think we're at $100 on the standard non-printed Blur, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And about 80 bucks on the Leek. We've got a bunch of your guys' printed Leeks in the building right now, and this should be about the same price as those as well. Very cool, man.
Yeah, so we got one more printed knife, and this is a little bit of a funkier one, but we did the Leek Trout. And it's been really fun to watch this kind of from the sides. Like I was a little bit involved, but like it wasn't my idea. It was I'm kind of just like filling out some of the paperwork for it. You know,
the Leek Trout worked way better than any of us thought it was going to. Both you hear the idea and you're like, okay, fine. You get it in hand, it's like, wow, that actually really works. Yeah. The design you put on it worked really well. We'll try to put a picture of it here. And that thing has sold like hotcakes.
It was really successful for us. You guys really liked it, which is great. Thank you. For that. It was awesome. So we have a trout. We also want to have a bass. So we've got, this is the Shoreline bass. You've got this largemouth bass printed on the handle scales. And it was something we wanted to do a knife that kind of would fit and jive with a fish. And the Shoreline really does. Like it's very, I mean, the name doesn't hurt, but like the curvature of the handles really fits.
Just like the rainbow trout Leek, like it works way better than you would ever imagine to see a full coverage print of this fish on the handle. Like kudos to you, to whoever had that idea. It was a good one.
It was a good one. It was not mine, but it was a good one. But yeah, if
you could have taken credit.
If you're an angler or you got someone who is, it's a must for sure.
And more affordable than the Leek as well. And, imported, actually about half the price of the printed Leeks, which are about 80 bucks. This is around 39, 40 bucks. Projected at this point. Again, as I mentioned, full prices, like final prices will be at the links in the description where you should be able to order all of this today. Very cool. Very cool. Well, that's all we have for now, because you guys are always cooking up some new and exciting stuff. Let me know what you thought of the knives. Let Andrew know what you thought of the knives down in the comments as well. They've been doing a pretty good job of listening to you folks over the last few years. So,
thank you guys.
Make your biased opinions known.
Please do. I read them every year. Yeah, and like you mentioned, we'll have a release probably right around like early mid-May and then mid like September. So we'll have 2 more coming this year.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Leave your comments down below and get your orders in at the links in the description. Andrew, as always, thank you so much.
Good to see you, man. Thanks, guys.